Hey there, welcome back to the Niger Trends TV. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and inspiring stories in the Bible. A story of courage, faith, and a young woman who risked it all to save her people. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to make a choice that could change everything, not just for you, but for your entire family, your people, maybe even a nation? Well, that's exactly what happened to a young Jewish girl named Esther. This is the story of Queen Esther, a regular girl who became a queen and then a national hero. Sounds like a movie, right? But it's real, and it changed the history of an entire nation. Esther wasn't a warrior. She didn't have an army. She didn't even grow up in a palace, but she became a queen. And not just any queen, Queen Esther changed the fate of her people with nothing but courage, faith, and a voice. So, sit tight, get cozy, and let's travel back to ancient Persia. This isn't just a Bible story, it's a life lesson wrapped in royal robes. Let's rewind to the beginning way back, over 2,000 years ago, to the Great Persian Empire. Esther was a young Jewish girl, living in Persia. She was an orphan. Both her parents had died when she was little, so she was raised by her older cousin, Mordecai. Think of Mordecai like a loving uncle, strict, wise, and deeply protective. Now also imagine being an ordinary girl, living in a foreign land, not knowing what the future holds. But Esther had something special: grace, kindness, beauty, and a humble heart. Now here's where the story starts to shift. The king of Persia, King Xerxes, needed a new queen. Not because of love, but because he got angry and dismissed his old queen, Vashti, who refused to show up at a royal party just to be gawked at. Respect, right? So, the king ordered a royal beauty contest, yes, like The Bachelor, ancient edition. Girls from all over the empire were brought to the palace, groomed for a year, and then presented to the king. Guess what? Esther was chosen. Yep. Our girl Esther, the orphan, the outsider, the one hiding her identity as a Jew, becoming a queen of Persia. Let's pause here for a minute. Have you ever been chosen for something you didn't expect? Maybe you felt unprepared or out of place. Esther was just like that, thrust into a world she never asked for. But she trusted God and followed Mordecai's advice. But here's the twist: no one knew she was Jewish. She kept that part of herself hidden, on Mordecai's advice. Every great story needs a villain, right? Enter Haman. Haman was one of the king's top officials. Super powerful, super arrogant. He had one rule: everybody must bow to me. And everyone did, except Mordecai. Why? Because Mordecai was Jewish and believed only God deserves that kind of honor. Haman was furious. He didn't just want to punish Mordecai. Oh no, that would be too easy. He wanted to wipe out all the Jews in the empire. Let that sink in. Haman used his power to launch a plan, a law, signed by the king, that would kill every Jewish man, woman, and child on a single day. Now imagine you're Esther. You're queen, yes. You live in the palace. But you're Jewish too. And your people are about to be destroyed. Or think of a moment where someone tried to harm you, and not just you, but your whole family. That was the weight on Esther's shoulders. Fear. Pressure. Responsibility. What do? Esther's in a tough spot. Speaking to the king without being summoned was illegal. Like, you could die for it. Even queens. Mordecai tells her, don't think because you're in the palace you'll escape. Maybe, just maybe, you were made queen for such a time as this. Let's pause right there. For such a time as this. It's a powerful line. Sometimes we're in places we didn't expect to be, facing things we didn't sign up for. But maybe we're there for a reason. That's what Mordecai was saying. Esther didn't just win a beauty contest. She was chosen. And now, she had to choose too. Would she risk her life to save her people? After praying and fasting for 3 days, Esther said something bold: "If I perish, I perish." Talk about courage. Esther didn't just burst into the throne room yelling. She was wise. Strategic. Think chess, not checkers. She dressed in her royal robes, went to the king, heart pounding, and waited. The king looked up, saw her, and smiled. He held out his golden scepter. That was her green light. Esther invited the king and Haman to a private banquet. Then another one. She built the suspense. Got them comfortable. And finally, she dropped the truth. She said, "My king, someone wants to destroy me and my people." The king was shocked. Who would do such a thing? Esther pointed, "That man. Haman." Boom. Tables turned. The king was furious. Haman begged for mercy, but it was too late. In a twist of justice, Haman was executed on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. But there was still a problem. The law to kill the Jews was already signed. And in Persia, once a law was sealed, it couldn't be undone. So, Esther and Mordecai worked with the king to write a new law. One that allowed the Jews to defend themselves. When that fateful day came, the Jews were ready. They stood strong and protected each other. And they won. Not only did Esther save her people, but Mordecai was promoted to a top official in the kingdom. The story ended not with tragedy, but with triumph. Now, let's break it down. Esther's story isn't just ancient history. It's a mirror to our own lives. Maybe you feel ordinary. Esther was an orphan. Unknown. Hidden. But that didn't stop her purpose. Maybe you're in a place you didn't expect. Esther didn't ask to be queen. But she made the most of where she was. Maybe you're facing a hard choice. Esther risked her life, but she stood up for what was right. Her courage changed the course of a nation. Let's put it like this. Imagine your life is like a puzzle. You may not see the big picture yet, but every piece matters. Even the hard ones. Esther didn't see it all at first, but when her moment came, she stepped up. And you can too. Think of Esther like the ultimate underdog. Like a young woman from a small town who suddenly becomes first lady, and in a national crisis, she's the only one who can fix it. She didn't fight with swords. She fought with wisdom, faith, and bravery. That's the kind of strength the world needs today. We don't always get to choose what happens to us, but we do get to choose how we respond. Like Esther, your voice, your courage, your story, it matters. So, what's your such a time as this moment? Where in your life are you being called to step up? To speak up? To stand for something good, even if it's scary? Esther's story reminds us that no one is too small to make a big difference. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is to speak when it's hardest. Thanks for watching, and if this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment your favorite part, and subscribe to Niger Trends TV for more powerful Bible stories just like this. Until next time, stay strong. Stay courageous. And remember, you were born for such a time as this.